How's it going, everybody? So, it's been a couple of weeks, and this is what the prayer garden looks like. Got a whole bunch of beans coming up, some corn coming up. This line right here is sunflowers. They seem to be doing fairly well. And I have 4 or 5 soy plants. Oh, 5 soybean plants that came up. And I think most of the stuff here that looks like grass is sorghum. And I threw a whole lot more seed out and not much of it came up. Well, that's why it's called a prayer garden, is you throw out a whole bunch of old seed and you pray that something comes up. But I've got stuff coming up here. A lot of beans. Beans usually have a pretty good germination. There's corn planted in the beans, but the corn in here didn't seem to do all that well. And then the corn in here, right in this area, is all Yukon Chief. It's fresh seed, so that came up really, really well. Around over here, there's a whole bunch more sunflower seed planted. They're not doing as well as the stuff in fertilized soil, but that's to be expected. Got a new plum tree. I don't remember what type of plum this one is, but it's a good eating plum. The person who sold it to us had some samples from earlier in the year and gave that to us. They were pretty good. I don't know if it's gonna live. I hope it does, but the root system was exposed before we got there, so we didn't get a chance to save as much of the root ball as possible. But it seems to be alive. It doesn't seem to be too wilted. Alright. So now on to the bad news. So, a few days ago, this whole thing was hopping with baby rabbits, just coming and going constantly. And right now, there aren't any. Found yesterday that something had gotten into the rabbit pen and killed and eaten over half of the babies inside. Some of them we didn't find anything at all. I found the head of one baby, and one of the babies had gotten 2 of its legs chewed off. Personally, I would have, put the animal out of its misery, but my stepmom had gotten to it and decided that, she wanted to save it and try to make it a pet, which is fine. It's gonna live in a cage, be fed, have water, be petted all the time, so it's gonna be happy. But I lost a lot of babies to something getting in. I have a trap set for it right now, hoping to catch it, but most of the babies didn't make it. Now the babies that did survive, I pulled them out, or my dad and I pulled them out and moved them into a different cage that doesn't have quite as many gaps in it, because this cage isn't exactly you know, airtight. You know, it's got gaps and holes. And while I was at work yesterday, my dad went through and tried to button it up a little bit more. He seems to have done a pretty good job. We'll find out if we start losing more babies. So we think it's a weasel, pine marten, something along those lines. But he went through and screwed in chunks of wood all the way around, trying to tighten it up. And personally, I really hope it works, because I don't want to be losing babies left and right. You know, rabbits have a high enough mortality rate as babies to begin with. I don't want to lose them to predators. Well, that was my day yesterday. Is Dad came out and he likes to take a look at the rabbits. So he came and got me and said that something had gone through and killed most of the babies. I wasn't happy about that, but I can't really do anything about it now. Alright, that's what's been going on. Y'all have fun. Bye.